right, so our first guests are executive board members of the Organization for Women Empowerment of the Council of School Supervisors and Administrators. Whew, that's a mouthful. So we're going to abbreviate that, and bueno, O-CSA, which is OWE-CSA, is an organization dedicated to advocating, supporting, and encouraging women to exercise their fundamental human right to equity and to have a voice and a seat at the table, representing principals, assistant principals, supervisors, educational administrators, directors, and assistant directors who work in the NYC public schools and centers, for early childhood education. This year, O-CSA is presenting their first annual Gala scholarship dinner that will be hosted by yours truly. And it will be a night of recognition and inspiration, acknowledging the contributions of women leaders in both the educational and political spheres. And joining us to share more are O-CSA's executive board members, Dr. Maribel Ferreira, Cynthia Feliz Jeffers, Miosotis, Ramos, and Dr. Liza Caraballo Suarez. Hello and welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. What a powerhouse to be sitting alongside.
Yes.
Congratulations on this inaugural event.
Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to sharing the details with our audience. But before we do so, let's just share a little bit about CSA.
Well, good morning,
Good
Rhina.
morning, Dr. Maribel Ferreira.
Yes.
I know, let me correct myself there. I felt your energy. She was like, almost. I got it.
No, Maribel Ferreira, that's very good. And if you call me Maribel, hey, that's my name, given by my mother. And thank you for inviting us to this amazing show that you have. And I guess that is very popular in the Bronx,
Yes,
because as a resident of the Bronx previously, and also living in the Bronx for many, many years, and being a principal in the Bronx, I am just honored to be in this show with you and to have my sisters from O here in the show as well. So CSA,
Yes.
what do we want to know? The most amazing union New York City has. It is the Council of School Administrators, Supervisors and Administrators of New York City. And it comprises an amazing membership of almost 7,000 principals, assistant principals, over and other directors and administrators, supervisors, over 200 directors, and almost 12,000 retirees, which are known by the Secret Army.
The Secret
Yeah,
Army.
the Secret Army, yes. Having almost 12,000 retirees in a union, that is powerful.
That is very
Yes.
powerful.
And almost 7,000 active members, that makes us even more powerful. So
Nice.
that's what CSA is, protecting, supporting, advocating, and making sure that our New York City public school children have the best education possible with the best directors, supervisors, administrators out there. So that's what our union is. And the president of our union is Mr. Henry Rubio. Yay, Henry. Thank you for advocating, for
Yes.
always supporting. And thank you, Rhina, for allowing us to speak about CSA.
Well, I think it's important that our audience and our residents, for that matter, understand that there's other movements happening behind the scenes that people are not necessarily aware of, right? And then that leads into the Organization for Women Empowerment, which is the other sector to this gala, right? And the fact that it's women leading,
Yes.
right, Cynthia?
Yes, it's amazing. Like Maribel said, a little bit more about CSA. Our motto is great schools start with great leaders. And we're very proud of our president now, Henry Rubio. He is the first Latino president of the CSA, which is very significant. And we got together with him, a group of us, who wanted to have an organization that really spoke about the woman's voice in CSA and women leadership. Women leaders in general, as you know, Rhina, in many fields, including education, are the minority. And we always want to make sure we have a seat at the table. So we got together about a year ago, about last year. And we started to plan and say, what is it that we wanted this organization to be? What did we want to stand for? And we met over many months. We came up with our mission, our vision, our goals. And we had a very soft kickoff last Women's International Day, March 8th, at the CSA headquarters. And it was very significant for us, for all who attended, because it was the first time that it was women and those who are affiliated with women to be there with us and really celebrate and talk about those unique issues that are to women, you know. And we talked about the challenges that we had. For example, when a man says something, it's assertive. A woman does it, it's aggressive.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, and we could be saying the same exact thing, right? So we really are very, feeling very empowered. We're very happy that we have a seat at the table and that our union, the CSA, our umbrella union, gives us that voice, and that we're one of the caucuses that are able to provide that voice to all our members, you know. And not only that, set an example for our young women in our schools. Many of our members are principals, assistant principals, early childhood directors, and they need to know that they could grow up and be women leaders, and that we count, and we do have a seat at the mesa.
I love that. At the mesa.
At the
At the
mesa.
mesa. That's it. That's how we do here in the Bronx.
how we do.
Spanglish. All right. So, just for clarity purposes, we're talking the Council of the School Supervisors and Administrators is a union.
Correct.
And then the Organization for Women Empowerment is an organization.
That is underneath
Under
the
the
union.
union.
Right.
Right.
Under the umbrella.
Under the umbrella
of the CSA.
Right. So it's different members.
Correct. It's made up of different members
Right.
of the CSA.
Right.
So the CSA offers members the opportunity to join many different caucuses and organizations within the CSA. So, for example, we have the Black Caucus of the CSA, we have the Asian Association, we have the Latino Caucus, we have
25 organizations that
And we even have a
work,
running
yes.
organization, an organization of members who are into running. So the Organization for Women's Empowerment is the latest one under the CSA umbrella.
All right, and you're celebrating your first year. We're going to get into the gala in a minute after we get to know Miosotis as well. We've got two principals who are also part of the executive board member, who are also executive board members, I should say. And so I believe you're a principal in Queens?
No, I'm a
You're the one in the
principal
Bronx.
down
You're
the
the one
block
in
from
Queens.
here.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Ah.
Hey, we got the 5 boroughs.
Yes.
But let's
Yes.
talk about your role.
I am a principal a couple of blocks from here of PS7, Milton Fine School on 232nd Street and Queensbridge. I hope my kids are watching. Hello, and I hope you're enjoying your break. I'm ready to start again on Monday. Yeah, so I've been the principal there for 7 years, 9.5 as an AP. And as part of this organization, being part of CSA, and most importantly, being part of O,
Right.
has really been inspirational because it is something that I've always also thought about. We need an organization for women and women's empowerment. So I was blessed to have been offered an opportunity by Dr. Ferreira to join and be an executive board member. Most importantly, I look at my girls and those who identify as such to think of themselves as being able to have a seat at the table and being able to do things that in the past weren't really an open forum for them. So that's really what empowers me
Yeah.
in this organization.
No, well, also, you know, I think it's important for us to just really amplify that your principles, right? So you're in leadership roles.
Yes.
You're running a house of students and student bodies and employees, and you know, it's a lot, right? And so for you to come together and unify to amplify that even more, it's really, really powerful. So thank you for bringing it here. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. I'm super excited. And I'm sorry I messed up the boroughs. But Dr. Liza Carabello Suarez, right? So you are a principal in Brooklyn. And I just want you to share a little bit about your experience and what drives you, really.
Wow. First of all, coming from Brooklyn, living in Brooklyn, and living in the projects at the time, you know, you want somebody, as these women in front of you, to be a role model. And it was difficult. So now that we have this, I've been able to now work with my girls and include them in, you know, school leadership committees give them a voice so that they can also amplify what we're saying here, that yes, we could be at the table regardless of who we are, where we come from, what we look like, and most of all, you know, as a sisterhood, you know, together we can rise, you know, and make it happen.
Right.
But nothing is impossible if you have the support team.
Right.
And this is our support team. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's very powerful. A lot of girls don't have that, you know, so
Right.
we need to bring it up to the table. And as a principal, being able to have that opportunity and open the doors. As a matter of fact, at a magnet school of architecture, engineering, and design, basically with the goal that the girls could be part of that, because there's so many times that the girls don't realize that, yeah, you can be an architect, yeah, you can be an engineer. You don't just have to be, you know, settle for something because you think that that's all you can do. You know,
Right.
rise to the top and reach the moon, the stars, and you can do it
In any field.
in any field.
Right.
And that's what we're here representing. Regardless what position, what you are, what you're doing, you could do it. And we are pretty much the trailblazers here, that we've done it, and they can do it too. So that's powerful.
It is powerful. And then there's the who decides what's at the table, you know?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're
Exactly.
really talking about.
Exactly. Who is at the table?
Right.
And not only that, Rena, not only who's at the table, if they don't give you a chair, you bring your own.
Right.
And you put yourself at the table. And that's something that we're teaching our young ladies to do.
To have a
really
voice.
speak out for themselves and be empowered. And that's why it's so important to have this gala to us and to really celebrate our young ladies and women throughout New York City in each and every borough, so they know that we're here.
Well, if I may, what I'm really alluding to is that you're designing the table.
Yes.
You're designing the table, and that's the difference right there.
Yes.
Right? So now this is a wonderful segue into the gala in its first year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And a lot of firsts being honored as well.
Yes.
Would you like
we
to?
have.
Yes.
Of course, these women are trailblazers. And there are so many more that we will have loved to honor, but we could only, for now, for this first gala, we could only afford to celebrate, honor, and really have these women showcase the amazing things that they have been doing. For example, Dr. Betty Rosa, she is the Commissioner of Education and the president of, help me out, Cynthia,
She's the president of the State University
the
of New
State
York.
University of New York. I always forget that piece there. Dr. Betty Rosa is an amazing role model. Many of us have always looked up to her. She's the type of person that has never given up and who brought her own chair to the table and the first Latina
To serve
to
as-
be in that position, in the STEAM position.
I can't wait until we're done saying the first Latina.
Yeah,
for
the first
everything.
Latina. I was going to get there. I just need to bring capital letters. The first Latina female to be in that STEAM position. And then we are also honoring Ian Shu. She is the senator here in New York, and she also has an amazing story. And she is the first Asian to be a senator in that district. And we are also honoring our amazing Rosemary Sinclair, who is the executive vice president of CSA, our union, and who is also a trailblazer. These three women, they did not wait for somebody to offer the seat.
Right.
They brought the seat,
Right.
but they also are designing the table. And like us, we are setting up the table, not
Right.
just designing it, but setting it up with the ingredients, with all of the things
Right.
that we need to ensure that women, no matter where we come from, religion, race, no matter where we are, and our little girls has something to look forward to.
Right.
And you have some great examples here, like, for example, Dr. Liza Caraballo. She can talk to you a little bit about, being the first Latina, and she can say that because it is also, we are very proud of the work that everyone is doing. We have amazing women in this organization. We began with 17 women, with 17 women who sat at the table and decided what all was going to be and what all will represent and the legacy that all is going to leave behind.
And so let's share a little bit about what you're saying as being the first Latina.
Thank you, Maribel, for that shout out. It's very nice of you. I am the first Latina of as the president of the National Association of Elementary and Middle School Principals across the nation. It is a 103-year-old organization. I am the first one in the nation and the first one in New York City. So pretty much is amplifying voice, giving voice to students, to women, and to work with equity and diversity and inclusion, because that is important across.
Right. No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And what's even more wonderful is that you are the ingredients to amplifying it, right? So there won't be any more first this, first that. The first has already been established. And now it's just pulling and opening the door for those to
And
come
we're very
in.
grateful to our first. You know, we're very
course.
grateful to everybody who's the first, because they're the ones that lead the way for us.
Right.
And we're also very excited this year. Miosotis will talk a little bit more about it, offering scholarships to young women and our students in our schools, because like we said, our mission and our vision is to amplify their voice, right? We're leading the way, but they're the ones that are going to come up behind us and lead that. So Miosotis could talk a little bit about the scholarships that we're going to be giving out.
Yes. And just thinking about the first, I'm also the first Latina Puerto Riqueña to be the principal at PS7, when the majority of our students are Latinos.
Right.
So that was also something important for me
Absolutely.
at PS7.
Absolutely.
Yes,
It's important for everybody to know. We need
Yes.
to own our own history. So thank you for mentioning
Yes,
that.
yes.
Absolutely.
So this year we are offering 5 students, 5 female or those who identify as such, a scholarship for college. It's a $1,000 scholarship this year, and we're hoping obviously to increase as we go on. One for a student in every borough.
So how many?
5.
5.
5 scholarships.
Five.
Yes.
That's beautiful. We're doing the 5 boroughs.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're very grateful too. We have a lot of partners that helped us put this together. Yourself, Rhina, we're very grateful, and we thank you, one, for having us on the show, and also being there with us. But we're also grateful to many of the sponsors that we had. We are grateful for their support and their partnership, because without them, we wouldn't have the funding. We don't get funding for this, right? So we have to raise the funds. That's the other thing. It's not like we have magic money that
Right.
comes out of the sky and says, that's a great idea, here, go do it. So we have to go out and get funding to do these activities and networking activities. And this gala is really the pinnacle of the things that we're doing this year. We have had activities in each of the 5 boroughs. We had networking activities. And our theme this year was self-care. And how do you take care of yourself as a woman in this field? And how do you put yourself first? Because a lot of times it's hard for us, right? To
Right.
put ourselves first. We identify as moms, as wives, as principals. But when do we have that time to be ourselves and self-care, right?
Right.
Just like they teach you on the airplane, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first. We
First.
tend to do it last.
Right.
Right? So we take the time every other month to meet and remind our sisters that you have to take care of yourself. We have had self-care events where we learn relaxation techniques, where we learn just self-love and empower one another and just be in company of one another. And the events have been very powerful for our members. And, you know, many of them are excited and look forward to them. After the March Gala, we'll have one out in Staten Island in May, and then the final one in Queens in June. And we're very excited about it because we do a little 5-borough tour, right? And we're in every place. And we started off in the Bronx, and Brooklyn was last month. So we're very excited about the gala. It will be March 8th at Marina Del Rey from 6 to 10. We're also excited because we have a female DJ. We also have a female photographer. Because we're women, we try to empower small business owners that are women so that they too have a voice. We're also going to have some special guests. We have our first Deputy Commissioner, Tanya Kinsella, is going to be there. We also have Assembly Member Yuderki Stapia, and we also have Amanda Ferreras, who's going to be with us. as well from the City Council, as well as many other special guests that we're going to be welcoming that day.
Well, we thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I can keep saying is thank you, because I'm in my glory that we're opening up Women's History Month, empowering women together with you. Everyone, thank you. Dr.
you.
Maribel Ferreira, Cynthia Feli Jeffers, Miosotis Ramos, and Dr. Liza Caraballo Suarez, executive board members of the Organization for Women Empowerment of the Council of School Supervisors and Administrators. And once again, OCSA's first annual Gala Scholarship Dinner, hosted by yours truly, is set to take place Friday, March 8th at 6 p.m. at Marina Del Rey, located at 1 Marina Drive in the Bronx. And for more information, you can visit owe-csa.org and or follow them on Instagram at O_CSA. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return.